everyone can hear me well. I've actually been getting much better at this Zoom and Facebook Live stuff. I actually even have a little earpiece usually, but I'm not using the earpiece today, so I want to move with you a little bit. And also, I had a little bit of a glitch with it the other day, so I'm going to go with just being close enough you can hear me. Okay, so, welcome everyone. This is my first time in a while being here. I was quite a few times in karate at home back at earlier days of the pandemic. But I haven't had a chance the last little while trying to do our own home base here in Canada, BC, and of course at my dojo we've been starting here. So what we're going to do today, we'll do a little bit of warm up together, although I'm sure everyone warmed up on their own before you joined us now. But we'll do a little bit together, just get that feeling. After that, we're going to warm up and get a little sweat going together by doing some leg switch training that I did in one of the earlier classes. Today's focus is going to be a little bit unique, pretty special. I did it a few weeks ago on one of my own Zoom classes. And that is the 4 major footworks, working on the technical aspects, how to move them correctly, JKA expectations for those movements, Fumi, Komi, Umidashi, Yoriashi, Sugiyashi. We'll work on those and the technical and all that kind of stuff, and then we're going to build up to doing some actual kumite movements from it. I don't know how a lot of the dojos around the world are doing kumite. For us, we still do kumite, but we do it 4 meters apart, so we can still work on our timing, speed, eye contact, reaction. We just lose the distance aspect of kumite, but all the rest we can get. Anyways, let's get started with a little bit of warm-up. We'll talk more in a few minutes. Get everyone jumping up and down, shaking out the shoulders, elbows, wrists, even your fingers. Get everything loosened up. Forward and back, jumping. Get in the calf muscles. Side to side. Switching forward and back. If you were here with me in earlier days when I did the karate at home, I did it from my own actual home. Now I'm actually at my dojo again. We have social distancing, little separate squares for everyone here, and we can get up to about 17 people in the room here at the dojo. By myself today though. Right, switching forward and back. Almost like a cross-country ski. Make sure you move your arms as well. Do jumping jacks. Each, knee, sun, chi, go, rook, tish, hutch, ku, two. Eat, knee, sun, chi, go, rook, tish, hutch, ku, two. Good, legs apart. I can move a little bit closer so we can actually see some of the bubbles coming up. Seeing lots more people join us, it's awesome. Welcome back, yeah, thank you. It's been a while. I'd like to come on more often if I can and see you guys more. Hi, over the right side. Hidari. Shikodachi. Not taking the pressure off, your weight off. Allow the weight to be held up by your legs, supported by your legs. More pressure out to get into the hip flexors. Changes in kusurachi. Other leg. I'm an advocate of more active stretching, not hold stretching when you're trying to warm up. The hold static stretching is great at the end to increase flexibility, but holding for an extended period of time. But for warm up at the beginning, makes it more active. Keep the body moving, not just hold position. Hi, back to the left legs into the Dutch. And let's do a few hip turns. Loosen up our hips. Good, other leg. I'm sure everyone's already heard about headquarters, Hobu Dojo, for those JKA members. They're doing a kata festival. They're not really calling it a tournament. It's more, but we do get to watch and get judged in our katas. So there's a division for everyone. So if you are a JKA member, you might want to record and Dropbox a video of your best kata to headquarters. I was just contacted yesterday directly by a couple of the senior instructors there, asking me, Don Sensei, can you encourage your friends and of course our Canadian people being outside of Canada to do this, to build camaraderie in yet another way. Okay, arms equals forward. As I said, for the first 15 minutes or so, we're just going to sweat together, but we're still leaving that part. The sweat part is going to be some technical aspects included before we get into the main technical point of the day of those 4 footworks that will lead us into some kumite. Hand back the other way. So we can continue to warm up through our training. Okay, so right off the bat, left leg forward, gyakuzuki. We're going to squeeze the front leg back, foot to foot. Don't keep a width here. Squeeze and then step forward. Opposite leg, gyakuzuki. I each. Nice and slow and easy. Knee. I'm going to hold and plant because I want to sort of warm up my brain as well as my body. I want to feel my heels down, knees bent, the using of my hip. When I step forward, I each. Loading, nice and easy. Warming up my technical. Each. And the slow motion will help me warm up my physical, my muscles, joints. Each. Knee. Nice and warm. Side. Nice and big. Each. Touch. Cool. Jill. Hey. A little bit quicker. Each. Knee. Some. She. Go. Rock. Cheese. Hot. Cool. Jill. Hey. Good. And relaxing. So out. Next one, we're going to go back leg front. Squeeze the back leg up. Drive the front leg back. Gyakuzuki. So the first one was front leg back and in. Now it's back leg front and back. As I said, we want to add a little technical here, even the sweat training and our warm-up training. So you want to think of things like when we squeeze the front foot back, the one we just did. We want to really change that weight position back and load and throw the body weight forward. But the next one we're doing now, we're pulling the back leg front. You don't want to change that body weight so much. You want to squeeze with almost no change and then back. This will also allow power to still be in the gyakuzuki. If you go too far forward, you're falling back. But if I can squeeze, keep my body, now I can create lots of power in the gyakuzuki even though my leg's going back. Let's try it. Are you ready? Each. Same thing though. We'll do it fast in a moment. Knee. This one's slow. Some. She. Go. Rock. Cheese. Hot. Cool. Jill. Hey. And relax. Now we're going to go faster and stronger on each of those. So the key points here is making sure we take the basics of technical. So we're going to squeeze the front leg back. I mentioned changing your weight position. Even before that, when we're warming up, let's talk about having a load, bend in the knees, engaging the hip as I go back forward so I can use my back hip. I think to throw the gyakuzuki powerfully. Okay, so let's do that. Front leg back, faster. Are you ready? Front leg back. Each. Knee. Some. She. Go. Rock. Cheese. Hot. Cool. Jill. Hey. Right away, let's move the back leg front. So now we want to try to make sure we don't change our body weight. So we can drive back, ready the power forward. Ready? Each. Knee. Some. She. Same. Go. Keep body position. Look. Each. Hutch. Cool. Jill. Hey. Good. And relax. Very good. Okay, shake out. Take a moment. We're going to do that even faster and stronger and then build a pattern on that to start us off. Awesome. Getting more and more people jumping on. Lots of nice comments. And lots of variety of different countries. Awesome to see you guys from other countries. Haike. Zenkuzudashi. Gyakuzuki. Pulling the front leg back. Faster and stronger now. Now we're going full speed, full power for 10. Right away we're going to do 10 with the back leg going front. Remember, front leg going back. We're thinking of changing the weight position so we can drive forward. back, bend in the knees, engaging the hip, so we can then rotate that hip into the punch. On the second 10 that we're going to do in a moment, you're squeezing the back leg front. Don't change your body position. You do, however, have to engage that hip, so you can throw that hip in the gaxi. You got to throw that gaxi powerfully by engaging the hip. Okay, gaxi position. Front leg first. 8, 8, some, sip, go, up, 8, 2, 2, hey. Now, back leg, front. No change. We're going to make that difference between big change of weight position where you're going to move the front leg back. No change in body position when back leg front. Ready? 1, knee, some, see, go, up, 8, 2, 2, hey. And yoy, and relax. Good. Next one, we're going to start combining those two actions into a pattern. Kind of warm up not only our body, but warming up our brain to think about the 4 main footworks, the 4 Umidashi, Sugiyashi, Fumidashi, Fumikomi that we're going to work on today. Alright, so from Zakusunashi Gakuzuki, pull your front leg back, step in Gakuzuki, each. Front leg back, knee. Now next one, front leg goes back, load your hand, back, Gakuzuki, some. And then back leg, switch again. Shi, and yoi. Forces on wakamai, Gakuzuki, front leg switch, each. Front leg switch, knee. Remember the concepts we're trying to get out of that? The body weight changing significantly. Now, front leg moves, back, change your leg, back, sun, then back leg, shi. Combining the, I'll show it from the side. Front leg switch, that body weight change. Front leg switch, body weight change. Front leg moves, but it's really about the back leg driving back. And then fourth, back leg in. And then we're going to, of course, do the reverse in a moment. But let's do that one first before we get that one. So from here, front leg back, each. Front leg back, knee. Front leg back leg, then back leg, chi. So be careful that third one. That third one, I see a couple bubbles. I need a little bit of a review of that third movement. So from there, I have to pull this leg back, just the legs alone, look like this. 1, 2. Okay? We're already getting into the little bit of a touch of the Umidashi. 1, 2. The hands for that. 1, I have to load. Remember, I was talking about that load into the hip. Then 2. Okay? Let's go from here, just the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then we're going to do the reverse moment. Head is cold. Let's do a couple. All right, ready? Each, knee, some, shi, hey. Good. Let's go right from this leg. So we can try the other leg. Ready? Each, knee, some, shi. Good. Okay. Left leg now. We're back to the left leg. Ready? Each, knee, some, shi. Good. Can we do it faster? Ready? Each, knee, some, sit, hey. Now on the leg. Ready? Each, knee, some, sit, hey. And yoga. Now we're going to do the opposite movement. So we'll do the back leg move. Remember, not change your body position. Back leg. Don't change your body position. Back leg squeeze, forward, then back to the basic front foot switch. Back foot, back to front, front foot. Okay, let's try that one out. Ready? Each, San, Shi, Hey. Now we're on the right foot, so let's do it from the right foot. Each back foot, knee, back foot. San, Shi, Hey. So we're already getting a little bit of an excerpt from today's later training on the 4 major footworks. All right, us, 1 minute water break. We're going to get into our technical stuff now. Us. Awesome. Get more and more people from across Canada and all over the world. Awesome. Awesome to see everyone. Okay, so hope everyone got a good 15-minute sweat. Break sweat. We want to be able to move our body well. Make sure all our kicks and our punches and everything is nice and loose while we're working on our leg movement. So there's 4 major footwork movements in karate. We have Umidashi, Fumikomi, Yoriashi, and Sugiashi. It's almost like the primary colors. Those are the kind of 4 base, and then from there, of course, is infinite numbers of how to use your feet, how to use different footworks, combining them to then, whether it's combining them in a combination or combining them even simultaneously, doing kind of a little bit of a Yoriashi mixed with a Sugiashi. That's infinite. But we're today going to deal with the technical aspects of Shotokan Karate with those 4 movements. So the first one is most simple, is Umidashi. That's stepping forward. So a few things to think about when we step forward. First of all, very simple, we do a squeeze in traditional martial arts. We don't just step forward and flop our foot down. There is a squeezing. That everyone knows. But a little bit more technical point. Hope I can move further back and you can still hear me. I want you to be able to see my foot. A lot of people, when they step forward, they'll move their foot first and then step forward. Of course, you have to end up with the foot a bit of an angle on the finished product of a forward stance. But we don't want to do it too early. If we do it before we start moving, in a fight situation, this will telegraph to our opponent what we're doing. Right? Second thing is when we do that, and also on a technical level, I very much researched the fitness, the safety, how to use your body. One of my expertise not only in karate is in strength and conditioning training. If we do this completely loosens the hip and knee. I need to keep that muscle engaged. So the technical movement, our senseis always teach us, is also how the physiological body works more correctly. When I move forward, I want to keep that foot there, so this leg is secure, my body weight is over that leg, and only once my foot passes the threshold of that foot, anytime after that you can tread. Some people like to do it at the very, very end. I'm not that picky with that part. Maybe another sensei will say, no, you want to be very particular. I just want you to make sure, with my knowledge of karate, combined with understanding the physiological components of the body, that you need to at least pass the threshold of the other foot before that foot turns. Another problem that happens if we turn too early is those tend to be the people that pop the heel. We don't want to pop the heel in of a Umidashi step forward. People who try and keep it the correct spot, be good students, but do it too long, keep it there too long, as they land, that heel pops. In other words, one of the factors we want to check is, when do I turn that foot? It's got to be past the threshold. And the second question you have to answer yourself is, am I popping my heel? So, if I can keep this leg strong by making sure I'm past the line, the threshold, the movement leg, and that I can pivot the foot with the whole sole without popping the heel, and probably I'm pivoting, starting my pivot process at the correct moment in the movement. Another one that headquarters really, really pushes, and even myself as a higher dan, as a 4th, 5th dan, 15 years ago, 18 years ago, when I started training more. Of course, I trained there regularly, but in the early 2000s, I started training there a lot, staying there for a month or so, several times. One of the big things we talked about was the jiguashi, the support leg. So a lot of us tend to push with the back foot to go forward. My sensei calls that, don't kick the floor. So you're pushing against the floor to move. In kumite, sometimes we want that extra push, and also in some footworks, we need that, but basically in Umidashi, we want more a pull. We want a pull, not a push. So I pull. The jikuashi leg is the support leg. So I need this muscle to be secure, that foot to be secure for yet another reason. If that's secure, it allows my groin muscles to then activate so I can pull direct. Instead of pushing and in the middle having a really big mess. These technical aspects, as most of you know, I have a little bit of a competition career in Kumite as well. And I found that the better I work my basics, a lot of people say you don't need basics, just fight. No, I'm the other way around. My competition career, I focused more on my technical basics, and I found that it really led to better Kumite knowledge and skill. So things like the squeeze and expanding, things like understanding how to use the jikuashi leg. All of a sudden I can start pulling instead of pushing off. Give me an extra fraction of a second of timing, reaction, and speed to catch my opponent. So, Umidashi, review. Don't move your front foot. Keep this whole hip all the way to the foot nice and secure until the other foot has passed the threshold of that foot. And then after that, that depends on you. But it brings me to the second point, is don't let that heel pop at the end. But make sure as you step forward, we have to keep that foot secure. Keep that foot solid to the ground. Next point is the jikuashi leg pull. Jikuashi leg support. So from the inner thigh of this leg, inner thigh to here, I am squeezing rather than pushing off the floor. So there's some highlights of Umidashi. Because I'm doing all four today, I'm going to keep it a bit more brief. So let's try a few. Number 4 steps. Put your hands on your hips. Very simple. Step forward, like you did back when you were a white belt. Each. Then step back. Knee. Some. But especially if you brown black belts, pay more attention to those key points that I was mentioning. Go. Are you pulling? Rug. Pulling. Sheesh. Do you understand? The foot, each, when you turn, how much you turn, each, and switch your legs, each, knee, some, she, go, rug, cheech, hotch, ku, jill. Good. All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit because now I want to do a few basic ways of either. We're going to need a little later on when we start combining the 4 footworks. All right, so the first one we keep super simple, just the ways that we do every karate class. Stepping forward, I'll step forward towards the screen, chew that ways of me. But our focus isn't on the punch, it's really on how we're using our leg. Okay? Ready? Make sure you have a little space, so we step forward 3 times. Each. Don't have to go fast at first. Knee. Some. Okay. Good. Back up a bit. Or turn. We're going to be able to see the screen. Back up. So we're working on these key points of Umidashi. The pull, jikuashi leg support leg, heel pop, when I turn my foot, weight position exchange. These are some of the highlights we're talking about right now. Very, very simple ways of key. I hope your mind is spinning a little bit on how am I truly moving it correctly. Each. Knee. Some. A. All right, back up a little bit so you can all see each other. Let's go fast. Ready? H. Some. A. Good. Back up. One more time. I'm going to look at some of the bubbles while I count for you guys. Ready? H. Knee. Sa. Good. And boy, and relax. Okay, let's take a 1-minute break. During that 1-minute break, I'm taking a look at, looks like some people want to be added, so I can see them. I'm trying to do that. And everyone else can just get a sip of water. We're going to part 2, Fumikomi. Fumikomi we don't use so much, but we will be going through that in a moment. Sugiyashi, Oriyashi are more important. Okay, take a sip of water. We'll begin in about 1 minute. Os. Thank you, David from USA. Awesome. Great. Got India, USA, all across Canada. Great. All right. Hope everyone's ready. Let's go on to part 2. Fumikomi. Fumikomi, we know more commonly in katas like our heian sundown. We have it in jite. Fumikomi just means a stomping kind of movement. However, my sensei, Sakurai sensei, always pushed me for a couple years because I'm a bigger person. He said it's easy for you to make noise in fumikomi, but it doesn't mean you're doing it right. There has to be a lot of internal mechanics happening. So instead of just stomping because you're a big person making a loud sound, you want to try to use internal. So for almost 2 years, every time I trained with him, unfortunately, we were about an hour away, so for those 20 years, 25 years that he did in Canada, I still didn't get to train with him every day, but usually about once or twice a week. And for anyways, 2 years in a row, he would make me, he would force me not to make a sound on fumikomi. So I'd have to drive my knee up, drive it down, but then absorb the bottom. And he made me do this because it said, bigger person, easy to make a sound. Can you make the speed and power of full fumikomi and then use your internal mechanics to control the step down? So I challenge you guys, smaller body people, bigger body people, to try that when you're doing fumikomi. But anyway, let's do the fumikomi movement from Zenko Sudaki. We more commonly do Kibarachi, but we need it for kumite a little later. Let's do it from 4 cents. So very simple. Raise the knee up and step down. Not so simple though, is while I raise my knee, I don't want to drive my body up, straighten my leg. I want the knee to come up high, but I want my height to stay close to the same. I want to keep my knee a little bent. I want to keep muscle control on this half of my body while the other half is doing the knee raise. So fumikomi isn't just driving everything up. It's having control of my foot, knee, weight position as I try forward, and down. Okay? So back up a little bit, and let's try it here. Just the leg. Each. Notice my height not changing, hopefully. Knee. Sound. And you can make a sound right now, but just a little challenge for you. Higher dance especially. Try and do as fast as you can, and then absorb the shock. That will show your level of internal technical level, rather than just the driving down always for power. Okay, so we have, same as fumikomi, I have to keep my support foot solid until it naturally pivots when I drive my knee up. Don't activate it early. Keep the knee bent, like the same. Activate the side of your body that's supporting you, strong, while you drive the knee up. So there's some of the highlights of fumikomi. Ready? Each. Knee. Sunk. Good. Back up a little bit. So we can see each other. Each. Knee. Sunk. Good. And back. And again. Each. Knee. Sunk. Good. Now, another weak point that a lot of people have, shoulders to the side, watch my back. Each. This often happens in kata like empty. You see this in empty. You see it sometimes on heian sundown. But it's very important, just like basic ways to keep your posture. So as I drive my knee up, I want to keep my back posture. Not stiff and tight, but keep the spine straight. Don't allow the rolling forward of the shoulders, the curving of the back. Make sure you keep shoulders relaxed, posture relatively straight. Let's do one more set. Ready? Each. Knee. Some. Good. All right. Now let's add a punch. This is where the true testament, if you're doing it correctly, because this is a simple way to do it. So, if I raise my body up, when I come down, my punch is going more that way than than that. So no power going forward. But if I understand, driving the knee up and keep this knee bent, my posture here, then when that knee comes down, I can generate more power forward. Okay? So let's try that. Step back a little bit. Ready? Each. Make sure the power is going forward, not down. Knee. Some. Hey. Back up. Each. Knee. Some. Hey. Good. And relax. Let's move along to the third one. This is a very, very important one in kata and kumite. Yoriashi. Yoriashi is when we push off with the back foot and move both feet at the same time. Still, the energy comes from the back foot, push, but it's not A, B. We want to try and have push energy from there, but slide. Remember what I said about Umidashi, the original, stepping forward. We don't want to push off. We want to pull. This is different. The energy is coming from the back leg, so now we do need a push of the energy in the floor to move. A lot of crossover, technical points, but there's also some uniqueness in each of the four footworks. Jikuashi leg, stepping forward, basic step forward, Fumidashi we call it, as little pushback as possible. But Yoriashi, the whole base is the pushback to get the energy, whether it's the front foot or the back foot. Okay, so we're gonna do that first. No punch yet, just relax. Push forward, each. Push back, knee. Some. Shi. Go. Ro. Chi. Hach. Ku. Ju. Hey. How you switch your legs? Remember I said there's a lot of crossover. So, for example, body position. If I push back and change my body weight too much, this is no good. I want to keep my posture, keep my back straight, tailbone tucked. And I'm pushing with the energy from my legs, have my body in the right position. Okay, we're on right leg, let's try it. Each, keep your posture. Knee, some, chi, go, ro, chi, hach, ku, ju. Good. Now a couple of weak points. I'll show this from the back, so I want you to see my back foot. This is even high down numbers. We'll often when they push forward, each. When they push back, knee. Tendency is to go too narrow when they use the energy from the front leg to go back. And when they use the front back foot to go forward, allow us to slide out. So we want to try to remember the foot. Remember, there's some similarities. The front foot being stable, understand the right position. So when I push, I need that back foot to come along correctly, not finishing out, not popping the heel, and certainly not allowing the change of width. I want to keep consistent, weight width position, my basic forward stance, pushing forward, same width, pushing back, same width. Don't allow this change, all right? And that's based a lot, largely, on understanding your basics, your weight position, your center of gravity, how to use your sole of your foot to push off, how to use the energy from your body to activate the movement. All right, so now, Gyaku is the key to this one. Okay, so load, then slide forward, Gyaku is the key, each. Even more so, this is when that happens, be careful. Then, reload, slide back, knee, reload, some, reload, sheath, reload, go. We'll work a little bit of hip rotation too while we're at it. So, I'm saying reload because I want you to really twist shoulder, elbow, wrist, and hip around. So, make lots of power. Each, reload, or knee, hey. How's your foot position? Angle, heel pop, width. Those are 3 checkpoints on that one. How you switch your legs? Gyakuzuki. We're going to go forward first. Load. today for a warm-up, we're talking about creating power even when you're going back. It's way more difficult, but very possible, and very important, kind of a test point, little science experiment. If you can't create power going back, it's not just, oh, it's more difficult than that one. It means there might be something wrong with maybe your more basic one going forward too. All right, so we've got about 7 or 8 points there on how to do Umidashi correctly. So on to Sugiyashi. So you have a little bit of time to put them together. Sorry, a little bit of rush on these. I usually would spend maybe half an hour just on one. Next one, Sugiyashi. Sugiyashi right away does have a hybrid in the sense of it's just basically squeezing one foot and then expanding the other. It's a 2-foot action. So right off the bat, we have a hybrid of how much do we squeeze? Here, here, or even here. So that's a hybrid already right off the bat. But right now, let's keep it very simple. Let's get the foot to come right beside the other foot. Very basic. 1, 2. Big, nice, full Sugiyashi. Okay? So, from here, hands on the hips first, we add a punch. Each. Knee. Some. Shi. Go. Rook. Cheese. Ha. You're still trying to work on the same points that are the crossover, the ones that are the same. Obviously, the way to bring the feet together is the same. Obviously, heel landing, not toe heel, but try to have full sole. These are important points. 2 more. Ku. Ju. Nice, switch your legs. Ready? Each. Knee. I'm going to count for you. Some, so I can see a few of the comments. Shi. Go. Oz, thank you very much. Rook. Cheese. Hot. Ku. Jill. Good. All right. Yakuzuki, we're going to see Yakuzuki on this one too. So the first 2 we did Oizuki on Fumi and on Dashi, and on the 2 more advanced ones, the Yoriyashi and Sugiyashi, we're doing Yakuzuki. So Yakuzuki, pull the back leg up, tam, tam, each, tam, tam. Knee, some, she, go, rook, cheese, hot, cool, do, hey, switch your legs. Each, knee, some, she, go, rook, each, hot, very good. Okay, we'll take a 1 minute, get a sip of water, and now we're going to go into combining it and then even put it into a kumite context from my kumite career. All right, we're back. All right, so next one we're going to start combining. So, Yakuzuki. Squeeze the back leg up, Sugiyashi, Oizuki. Each. Squeeze the back leg up, Sugiyashi, knee, and back. So the first 2 combinations we do is just doing the same one more than once. Then we're going to start mixing and matching. Okay? Ready? Each, knee. So in Jukumite, this would be squeeze, getting your partner to go high, thinking defense high, then squeeze, and catching, chew that gap with the knee. Right, so a couple more basic though. Each, knee, back. We'll only do forward in this one now. We'll practice forward and back, but the kumite we're going to base more on the offense today. each knee, and back. More, each knee, and switch your legs. Yakuzuki, each knee, and back. Don't forget how much we need right from the basic one about how we have our knees bent and basics. This becomes vital to store the energy to drive ourselves forward for the ensuing Sugiyashi. Okay, right leg forward, each knee, and back. Each knee, two more faster. Ready? Each knee, back. One more. Each knee, and yawn. And relax. Okay, now we're going to start. I was just kind of showing how we can use two at once of the same footwork. Now we're going to get into twos, mixing, matching, getting closer to what I use in my comedy career, as I was saying earlier about using technical basics, training basics, getting better at heels down. Some people say, well, how does that relate to your heel up? When you fight, lots. Weight puts the center of gravity from here. So even when I do raise my heel for kumite, my alignment, understanding where my opponent is in relation to my body, is huge. How to move forward? Well, a lot of it's based on the basics. All right, let's combine. So next one is Umidashi. We usually use more often in kumite as just a feint. But actually, if you train well at it, you can move forward enough that it can actually be an attack. But let's use it as a feint today. So we're going to shift forward with Umidashi, then step forward, Oizuki. Note my hand as I went forward. Feint with Umidashi, step forward, Joldan Oizuki. I'm also doing Oizuki, Osaioke, because obviously I'm drawing purposely my opponent's punch. Shift, knowing my partner is a strong opponent. He's not going to run away. He's going to try and drive that gyakuzu to me. I want to attract that gyakuzu. Shift forward, expecting that gyakuzu. So then I can go cover that gyakuzu and through. So let's try that first one. Basics first. Fundamentals, very important. I always use the phrase, a lot of people look it up in the dictionary. Basics and fundamentals are almost the same word. For me, in karate, they're not. Karate, basics is what karate looks like in the mirror. Fundamentals is what karate feels like inside your body. So fundamentals are things like breathing, hime, zanshin, muscular contraction, the use of posture, your body weight, and understanding what happens internally with your karate. That's one of the fundamentals. And then basics are just what knee is bent, how much is bent, what is the structure like. So we're doing both now, and going to the third level into the Jukumite. So Yoriyashi each, step forward, knee. Good. Each knee, each knee, switch your legs. Even if you have a favorite leg, always try both legs. Each knee. Right? Each knee. Right? A little faster. Each knee. Again. Each knee. And relax. Good. Now we're going to make a more pronounced feint. So the Yoriyashi is the most common. Everyone, I think everyone on the screen would agree, who's watching today, that has any turf experience, the Umidashi is the most common feint and pressure to an opponent. We're going to change that. Now, I'm going to do a hybrid. I'm going to squeeze my back leg up Sugiyashi style and raise my front knee with Komi style. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's try that. Couple slowly. Each. Back. Knee. Back. Soft. And back. And switch your legs. Each. Back. Knee. Back. Good, nice switch your legs. So now, with that squeeze, pam, pa, kizami. So squeeze, lift, kizami. Ready? Each. Knee. Back. So, hey! Nice, switch your legs. Ready? Each. Remember, Umidashi? We have to keep this knee bent, posture, this is the basics and the fundamentals. But now, it's going to rely the basics on how far I can stretch forward to my opponent. Okay? Knee. One more fast. Some. Hey! And relax. Good. Again, we're going to screen for a moment. I usually would stop more often than this to see if there's any questions. But I've been getting carried away, having fun with you guys, so pushing forward. So any quick questions so far? I know there's a lot of material we've gone through. I'll give about 30 seconds. Everyone else can have a sip of water. Anyone who wants to ask a question? Os, New York, USA. Os, thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. Okay, some more greetings, that's great. No questions right now, that's awesome. Hopefully it means that I'm clear, or maybe I'm so unclear. Can't think of the right question because of my bad material. All right, so next one. We're going to make another combination, or add to that combination. So we already have two movements in that one. We have the Sugiyashi, we have the Fumi, quickly raising and stepping down. We have the Kizami with that. So we have a combination of Sugiyashi and Fumi Komi for the Kizami. Then, right from there, I want you to just Yoriyashi. You have the confidence that the big squeeze in and one got you close enough that all you should have to do is Yoriyashi. I use this one quite a bit in competition, even at JK Worlds. I scored quite a bit with it because at JK Worlds, people are so fast, so strong, so confident. When I did this, instead of going back and away, they'd be coming back at me with a gap ski. So it worked out really well to do 1, 2, expecting the gap ski. So I only needed Yoriyashi to catch them at that point because they were already trying to come back with me. All right? Are you ready? Each squeeze. That was a key. Knee, just slide. Yoriyashi. And back. Each. Knee. Good. Now, of course, you can change that to Sugiyashi, or even one of my favorites in that one. 1, 2 is actually step forward again. Umidashi. But we already did that in the first one, so I'm doing Yoriyashi in this one. Another one of my favorites. Each. Knee, just slide. Just get your power from the push. Okay, we'll do another one, a little quicker and smoother. Each. Hey. Oh, I did a little Sugiyashi in that one. Let's do that one again. Each. Picture that opponent being right there, coming right back at you. You have to just blow them away with a powerful use of that leg. All right, now we're going to do 3s. We're going to give you 3 sets that were just either the same movement done twice or a combination of 2. Then that one is a 3. The Sugiyashi, a Umidashi, and Yoriyashi. Let's do another 3. Okay. So the first one, I want to step forward. I want to have confidence and step at my opponent. So that means I'm going to have my, for most people, including me, my weak side forward. So from here, step forward, each. Only kamai. Only kamai. Good. Remember, I said we're going to go 3, and we're also doing more hybrid. So now from here, I switch my leg. With the key, squeeze. Sugiyashi. One more. I step forward. That's to attract your attention. I'm not just doing a little Yoriyashi towards you. I have the confidence that I'm trying to get inside their head. Again, the coming is going to step right forward towards you. Again, I want to draw that punch. If any of you watched my fighting style, I'm not defensive or offensive. I did a lot of this stuff where I would do an offensive, appearing offensive move, but only to draw, so I go a defensive counter. It was one of my favorites in my WPM career and my JK career. I did that a lot. So that's what we're doing now. So we're stepping forward, just getting their attention, wanting to pressure forward. Now I switch my legs, pop, and Sugiashi, hold as I try and get away. One more time, step, switch and punch, squeeze and punch. Good. Then the timing is pow, 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 pow. There's actually a little bit of here we call moment of mushing. I want that moment between my opponent and I. What's happening? And even if they're a good fighter, there's a split second where I gain some control and step forward. And then they get the control back, or they get the control back by throwing a punch. I defend, counter. Oh, they managed to block that. Squeeze, Sugiashi, one more. Let's try. Ready? Ease. Knee, come, down. So timing, remember. Come get me. Then, go. Show to the side. Each. Here, like fighting stance. Knee, pump, pump. So we're combining our Umidashi, classic step forward. Then we have a little bit of a hybrid of Sugiashi with the Umidashi. It's kind of the two mixed together. We're squeezing back like a Sugiashi, then we're floating forward like a Umidashi. And then we do true Sugiashi. So then we start having these really nice kumite, strategic tactical combinations, explode forward, capitalizing on distance and timing through understanding the basics. Basic for basic footworks. Now we get into advanced kumite. So let's show that one again. Step. That one's going to have a little bit of delay in it because you want to see the reaction of your opponent. And then your opponent comes at you. Tam, squeeze, tap. Okay, so we go quicker. Let's do one count. On one count, don't go 1, 2, 3. Remember what the first one is. Tactical strategy, getting inside your partner's head. Has to be a moment of hold here. Before I do the 2, 3. I have quick, then from here, a little delay, see the reaction. Okay, I'm going to just count 10. Are you ready? Each. Fight. Switch. Sugiashi. Back. Knee. Sub. Shin. Go. Block. Back. Ease. One more. Ease. A little slow. Good. Now, the last one, we're going to make a 4.5, 5-ish. So next one, where instead of stepping forward, I can do the classic. I can do that pressure that we all use the most. Yoriashi. Yoriashi forward. After Yoriashi, Sugiashi, Kizamuzuki. So in other words, pressure, go. Pressure, immediately go. So I'm going to use the Yoriashi to load into Sugiashi and go. So I'm going to the first two, as I said, 4.5, 5-ish. Okay, ready? Each knee. And of course, we want that smooth. Tam, tam. Yoriashi into Sugiashi. Okay. So one more time. Sorry. 1, 2, good. So now we're going to add the third part, third element. Okay, from there, Yoriashi, Sugiashi. This time, Sugiashi back, Gidan Barai. Okay, then squeeze your leg, Uraken, Sugiashi, Yakuzuki, Yoriashi. Okay, so show that in slow motion. Now we're doing a 4.5, kind of 5 footworks in one. We're creating a pattern using footworks. I push my classic movement, leading me into Sugiashi. I use Yoriashi, sorry, Sugiashi to get back, Gidan Barai. Then I use Sugiashi, and one more. Uraken is what I'm going to use on the fourth movement, and then Yakuzuki. One of my favorites is double Yakuzuki. That just came out naturally there. So one more time. Ich, ni, san, shi, ro. Yoriashi, Sugiashi, 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 Yoriashi. Double pump just came out naturally again. Uraken, please, Uraken. Double Yakuzuki is my favorite go-to. All right, so one more time. Yoriashi right into Sugiashi, Sugiashi back, Sugiashi, Uraken, and then Yoriashi catch with Yakuzuki. Okay, let's try it. Slowly, 1 count. Each, palm, 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 palm. Knee, palm, palm. Double moving it. Uraken. Uraken. Was the combination I planned for you guys today? Right? Each. Palm. 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 There you go. Uraken. Right? To the front. Hit it. Each. Remember the Yoriashi goes directly into the Sugiashi. Right? Ready? Each. Palm, palm, knee, palm, palm, palm. Double pump again. Uraken. Can't get my favorite one out of my head. Okay, ready? E. Palm, 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 palm. Good. All right. 5 times in a row. Go ahead. Let you practice it a little bit. This is the final one. Good. So that final one is, I'm giving you guys kind of a gift of that one because that is one of my favorites. It's one of my go-to ones. If maybe you watch me fight, I would use that against fighters who are stronger than me, taller than me, faster than me. I would use that moment where I find a moment of motion to destroy their strength, to force them to use up their strength, and then be able to capitalize on it. So doing movements like pressing them, but knowing that they go back, immediately go back in. They're not necessarily just the classic block counter, but have a plan so there'll be a couple spots in there where I can catch either in between, or I can do a bigger counter attack. Yeah, so that's very, very important. So my biggest point as we finish now, we're already at our full hour, the big point I want to get through to everyone, hopefully, is, first of all, I showed you traditional Shotokan techniques. I told you the Japanese terms for them. We did the 4 major ones. Technical movements, how to move correctly, how important the body action is, to kata, to kihon, and even today, we use not just kata kihon, but use that kihon tradition, movement correctly, really understanding how to use your heel and foot and weight position correctly can lead into actual kumite strategy, tactics, speed, power, and combinations you can create. But a lot of those ones, if you don't understand how to squeeze expand, a lot of those aren't going to work well. I need to be able to use the basics to do proper movement to get out my opponent's way. My sensei, talked about a few times today, Sakurai sensei, he would often say, it's easy for you to do, it's easy for your opponent to counterattack. So if you do the classic 1-2, everyone knows that, everyone does it, it's good, it works. but it's also easy to counter because people know it. But if you go all the way around and the long way around, or if you would make 2 or 3 movements because you have confidence in your footwork or movements, your tactics will be much, much stronger. You're putting your opponent, it's a little more difficult to you, but you have to train harder to get it right. It means it's going to be harder for your opponent to defend against you. Alright? So, basics, 4 different stances today, right from the technical name to technical movement, to how to move in them, then combining them together in their basic format, and then finally through those combinations, building some kumite strategy, tactics, and combinations. Right? Right? Okay? Thank you very much, everyone. I'll leave it on for a minute just in case some people have some questions. I'll come over here and take a look. Thank you very much for everyone coming out. We had lots of people coming out. That was awesome. Lots of people from many, many countries. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed and got lots of information out of it. Thank you.